Good morning, America. I'm not Denny Jelsma, but this is Monday Morning Rail. Monday Morning Rail is brought to you today by Greg Turn's 2 tables of outstanding merchandise that will be available at the Prime Osborne Center during the Jacksonville train show. Although I do have to add that Greg Turn's 2 tables are brought to you by Jelsma Graphics, America's #1 provider of embroidered railroad clothing. So it's going to be very exciting today, so stay tuned and watch the show.
It's just not right. That's terrible.
Hi guys, this is Richard at the Jacksonville Terminal Railroad Museum. Today we're going to talk about one of the, I'm going to call it a rare building on this layout. This is the only fine scale miniatures kit we have. It was built by the late Norman Welch from the Gateway Club. This is back in the 70s when he built this thing. He built it at home, mounted it on a piece of 3/4 inch plywood and brought it to the club, and we installed it on the Gateway Club layout, where it stayed for quite a while until we moved here. This is it here, EZRA'S garage. Now, as designed and built by George Celios, it did not have a roof so that you could see the interior. But once I installed it here, I wanted to put a roof on it so it'd match all the other buildings. So this is my design, the roof, and it comes off, and there's the inside of EZRA'S garage. Now this model, as most of you know who understand fine scale miniature kits, both the inside walls and the outside walls are all they have detail on both sides of the walls, all the way around. Not to mention all the extra interior detail that came with the kit. Now, when it came time for us to transfer this building onto this layout, somehow I had to get rid of all the extra plywood that this thing was mounted on. And it was mounted very, very securely. I think he used epoxy. So I took a sawzall and sawed underneath the building, between the building and the plywood. Everything was rattling. The motion of the saw just broke everything apart. And fortunately, I had taken pictures of it before I disassembled it. Well, before I took the saw to it. And I just went underneath the building, sawing that top layer of plywood. And like I said, the whole thing rattled apart. So I had to build a little platform for it to sit on, because the wiring had to go underneath it. It was already pre-wired with the lights that you see in it now. So I built a little platform for it to sit on, routed all the wiring underneath it, and then tied it all together underneath and brought it to the club. When I put the building back together, I just used ACC instead of epoxy, and I just stood everything back in place the way the picture showed. It went together real easy because it was already built. I just had to put it together like a jigsaw puzzle. That's pretty much it. My reasoning for installing the roof that the guys are repairing was, down here in Florida we have hurricanes. So a hurricane had come through, knocked over the tree that was standing next to it, and damaged the roof. The tree has now been cut up and is now firewood for the stove inside. And that's pretty much it. I just bashed a styrene roof, built some ladders, added some workers to it, and made some roll-on roofing out of paper. Glued them together, painted them, and just glued them in place. The roofing on top of this, the styrene, scribed looked like plywood, and this is paper towel, this gray material. Glued it on with white glue, came back and painted it, and it looks like a messed up roof that someone's trying to repair. And that's pretty much it here on Jacksonville Terminal Model Railroad. Bye, guys.
Well, thank you, Richard. That was another exciting show, and we really appreciate Richard's modeling skills here at the Terminal Railroad Museum. It's one more reason why this is such a great layout. And that's the way it is at the world-famous Jacksonville Terminal Railroad Museum in beautiful Jacksonville, Florida, where the sun always shines and running trains is an absolute pleasure and peace and harmony.